Hi guys, welcome to our 7th class. Today is September the 2nd. When students logged in today, they saw this screen guiding them to go to Google Classroom to complete the warm-up for today. It is a Flipgrid. It is still posted under week 3. It is titled 9-2 Warm-up Flipgrid Solving for X. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to pick one of the problems from the Google form that you completed last class, okay, and you're going to record yourself completing the problem, okay? There is a video posted with the warm-up, okay, that kind of introduces you to how you can get signed in to Flipgrid, and then there is a link also posted for you to join our Flipgrid class for Algebra 1, okay? If you need a code, it is also here in the presentation, okay? So today we're going to learn how to solve inequalities. Okay, and the way we're going to do that is by solving them just like we would an equation. Okay, except this time we're splitting our problem down the inequality symbol. Okay, so we're going to look to each side to see if we can simplify it first. If we can't, then we will automatically go into rearranging our problem so that way we have variables on one side and numbers on the other side. Okay. We're going to solve the inequality for the variable this time, not the equation. Okay. On our agenda, we have a few notes and examples. There's a BrainPop video for you to watch that's been assigned to you if you sign into your BrainPop through Launchpad. Okay. You have a video assigned, a quiz, and then there's a game you can play. Okay. There are a few notes and examples to do after that, and then there's a quiz on BrainPop for you to complete. Okay. Okay, so in our journals, we're going to add these notes. Our title for today is Solving Inequalities. Okay. We solve inequalities as we do equations. Okay. The major and probably only difference is that in an equation, there's an equal sign. In an inequality, right? Tongue twister. There are comparing symbols, right? Greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Okay, so major difference there. When we get our answers, they're going to be placed on a number line so it can help us understand what those answers mean. Okay, so when we get there, we're going to see a closed circle, and that is related to this symbol here, the greater than or equal to symbol, and also to the less than or equal to symbol. Okay, when we color in that circle, that means that that number is part of our solution. Okay, if we see an open circle, that is related to this comparing symbol that does not have that line underneath. Okay, that is the greater than symbol or the less than symbol. Okay, that means that yes, even though our starting point is at that number, we do not include that as part of our solution. All right, I messed up when I was writing this problem, so I'm going to read it out. Our first example should read 5x plus 1 is greater than 26. Okay, so we're going to split up our problem. We're going to look to each side to see if they can be simplified. It cannot. So we're going to go automatically to rearranging our problem. Okay, I want to get rid of my loner first. So I'm going to do opposite operation, and I'm going to say minus 1. If I do it on one side, I have to do it on the other side, right? These simplify. I'm left with 5x on the left. I keep the same symbol, same direction, everything. I subtract 26 minus 1 and I get 25. My last step is to divide by 5. So that way I'm isolating that variable, getting it alone. This simplifies to be 1. I can just write x greater than 5. I put my answer in a box. We're going to add a number line. We're going to put our answer on a number line, right? So based off of my symbol, at the number 5, I am going to have an open circle, okay? Because my symbol does not have a line underneath, right? And then this reads x is greater than. So x has to be any number greater than 5. Okay, our next example is 2/3 y minus 1 is less than or equal to -3. Okay, I'm going to split up my problem down the inequality symbol. I cannot simplify anything on either side, so I'm going to go ahead and start rearranging my problem. Okay, I'm doing opposite operation. Opposite of -1 would be +1, or to add 1 to both sides. This simplifies to leave me with 2/3 y. Keep my symbol facing the same direction. Okay, -3 plus 1 is a -2. Okay, so now I got to look over here at my fraction, right? I've got to kind of undo my fraction to help me get rid of these numbers, right? So if I am dividing by 3, the opposite would be to multiply by 3, okay? If I do it on one side, I have to do it on the other. So I'm left with 2y less than or equal to -6, okay? Then our last and final step would be to divide by 2, okay? So that simplifies. I'm going to write my final answer off to the side over here. Y less than or equal to -3. Put my answer in a box, and then we're going to go put it on the number line. Okay, this time -3, my symbol has a line underneath it. So I'm going to have a solid closed circle at -3. And then this tells me that my numbers have to be less than -3, right? So numbers less than -3 are to the left. Less than is always to the left. Okay, we're going to continue our notes because we know in math it progressively gets harder as we do examples, right? So let's put a star by this because this is an important idea, okay? Anytime you multiply I'm going to underline that, multiply or divide by a negative number. So read that carefully. Anytime you multiply or divide, not add or subtract, right? Multiply or divide by a negative number, you must flip the sign. Okay, and by the sign, guys, we mean the inequality symbol. Okay, so let's do an example. So if we have -7r is greater than 21. Split up our problem. I cannot simplify anything, right? So I'm going to have to go straight into dividing by a -7 because I want r to be by itself, right? So look what I did. I divided by a negative. So that means I am going to flip my sign. So when I rewrite it down here, it's going to be facing the opposite direction. Okay. My -7s simplify to be 1, so I'm left with r less than -3. Final answer in a box, and then we're going to put that on a number line. -3. It's going to be an open circle because my symbol does not have a line underneath. And then this says r is less than. So less than is going to face to the left-hand side. All right, guys, so a common misconception is multiplying or dividing by a number that is negative. Okay, that's different. It's okay if we have negative numbers, But if we have to physically ourselves draw that divide line and then we draw a -7 or we draw a negative number, then we have to flip that symbol, okay? If we have to physically multiply by a negative number, then we are flipping that inequality symbol, okay? So we're going to do an example. I called it 1+ in class because it's like an extension, right? We're going to do an example that involves negative numbers, but that does not require us to flip that symbol, okay? So split up our problem. I do not have to simplify on either side. So I'm just going to go ahead and divide by 7 on both sides, right? Because I want that r by itself. So 7 divided by 7 simplifies to be r. My symbol is going to stay the same because I did not divide by a negative, right? So my symbol stays facing that way. I do have a negative answer, but that's okay because I didn't divide by a negative, okay? Final answer. So let's draw it on our number line. -3. This one is an open circle at that -3, right? And then r has to be greater, so it's facing the right-hand side. Okay, our next example is going to be -3/4 y minus, sorry, my light turned off, -6 less than or equal to -3. Okay, split up our problem down the equal sign. Okay, I cannot simplify anything on either side, so I'm going to go ahead and start rearranging. Remember, simplify means to either combine or distribute. I cannot do either. So I'm going to go ahead and rearrange. I'm adding 6 to both sides. So I'm left with 3/4 y less than or equal to -3 plus 6 is a +3, sorry. Okay, and so now we're going to come to our left side and we're going to get rid of our fraction, one number at a time. Okay, if I'm dividing by 4, the opposite would be to multiply by 4, right? Okay, these simplify. I'm left with a -3y less than or equal to, my symbol has not changed, right? I haven't done anything with a negative yet. 12. Now my last step is to divide by a -3 because I want that y to be alone. So then I have y greater than or equal to -4, right? Okay, so if we put this on our number line, at -4, I'm going to have a solid dot, right? Y has to be greater than or equal to, so it is facing the right-hand side. Okay, so one more idea. If we rearranged our problem and we ended with 4 greater than x, right? So we are used to seeing the variable on the left side and the number on the right, okay? Because it's easier for us to read and understand. But if we rearranged and we had the variable on the right side, in order to understand it better, we would need to rewrite it. So x, I want x to come first. If the point is facing to x when we rewrite it, it still has to face x, right? And then 4. So these are the same, just rewritten in a different order, okay?